Hello and welcome back to Wireman's Whimsy. Today I'm going to be using the kind of diagonal designed paper. This one is a super simple card. I'm not going to do it in the video. I'm going to do another one in the video. But this is just a piece of 5 1/4 by 4 basic white. And I kind of subcut this like this, so that I got the stripe across here so that everything was still up and down. And I just attached it and then trimmed it off, ran it through the Eyelet folder. And I did this with the Stylish Shapes banner die. And I cut the Blackberry Bliss out of exactly the same size as this. And then I just cut the Blackberry Bliss piece in half and then just popped it up and popped it down to attach it behind. And then I used some of the tinsel gems in here. So this is a super simple way to use the card and way to kind of accentuate that diagonal flow of color. For this one, it created a secondary pattern. This is just a piece. You can see it's kind of cut out from here. But if you look, we've got the obvious diagonal here. We also have a secondary diagonal this way with the peach pie flowers. And that's what I accentuated with this card that we're going to make on the video today. So what I've got here is the card base, and it's a diagonal card base. So it's got a little bit of interest to it. And to do this, you mark your paper, your 8 1/2 by 11 from corner to corner, and I drew just a pencil line down it so that I could cut it diagonally. And now we're going to come back in and we're going to score it. Keeping in mind that we need to score it as a standard card base. So we're going to go 4 1/4 like this. So we're going to score it at 4 1/4. And we're going to score it at 5 1/2. So we're going to go 5 1/2 by 4 1/4. And we're going to score that like that. And when you get to here, your corners, I scored it incorrectly before. Ignore this line here. Your scores should actually match up. So what we're going to do is we're now going to fold this over like this on that score line, and then we're going to fold this one over as well. So we're just going to smooth those lines down like that. So then we've got our kind of flip front piece. I've already cut out everything that we need. The easiest way to do this is to cut a 5 1/4 by 4. You can also cut a 5 by 3 3/4, because 5 1/4 by 4, and then you need to trim a 1/4 inch off. Because if you think about it, this is going to go on like this with a little bit of wiggle all the way around. And you can have that, if you want just that thinner border, you absolutely can do it this way. If you want a thicker border, you just need to take a 1/4 inch off one of the sides, and it will kind of shimmy over and give you that wider border. In this case, I just want the narrow border, so 5 1/4 by 4, and you cut it diagonally. And I've done the same thing with the basic white piece here, and I'm going to run the basic white piece through the folder. And I'm going to run it through upside down, because I want it to be flat. I want it just to be subtle. I don't want it to be jumping out. Like, this is done the right way up, and it's really, really obvious. This way, upside down, it's a little less obvious. So I know I need this way. It's going to go on the card like this. So I know I need it this way up. So I'm actually going to run it through the folder upside down. Usually we'd have the Stampin' Up logo up. In this case, we're going to have it down. I'm just going to run that through. And as always, with a folder, we need to put the spine through first. I've already done the die cutting and everything, so it's really just a case of putting it together. And I have not stamped the piece that's going inside. On this card I have. So I can pop and do that really quickly. So you can see now that this is the flat side and this is the bumpy side. And I did that on purpose because I wanted that, the more muted look. So we're just going to attach that. Again, super skinny borders on this. We're just going to line it up. There we go. And then we're going to do the same thing with this. I'm putting just a little bit of extra adhesive just at the edges to make sure they don't kind of flap up. So we're just going to add this, and then we're going to pop this down, making sure we're square like that. So there we go. So that is the basis of our card. And let's just do some quick stamping here. And I've got my peach pie out, and I'm going to stamp down in the bottom corner like this. That's the detail, and I'm stamping first value, so not stamped off at all. And then I'm going to take the background and I'm going to stamp it off. And I put the washi tape on to give me the direction, and then I didn't use the direction. So there we go, like that. And then I've got the inside. I'm trying to match the paper as close as possible, and the background in the paper is actually the peach pie background. And then I'm taking the pecan pie and popping it over top like that. So it's got that lighter kind of hue instead of first and second value of the pecan pie. And then we can pop a couple of leaves on here. Maybe we'll just do the one, or maybe we'll do two. And I'm doing second value on the leaves because first value in the garden green seemed really, really bright. And that might just be because I just re-inked my pad. So, okay. So that's got that quickly inked up. And we're going to pop this right in the middle here as normal. And you can't even see where I made the mistake with the scoring. So got that done. I've already cut out all my pieces here. So we're going to flat mount one of the daisies. Just going to pop that down right about there like that. And then we're going to dimensionalize each of the flowers. And I got my dimensionals right here. And like this. And we're just going to stick them down. We're going to add the leaves, and then we'll add the greeting. And the greeting's going to overlap the fold just to add that little bit of interest. So we're just going to put that down like that. Then we're going to take our leaves and we're going to just flat mount the leaves. And we're just going to pop these in like that. And like this, oops, maybe a little bit further in, there we go, and like that. And then we're going to dimensionalize, no, actually we're just flat mounting the greeting, sorry. And I only want to put adhesive on this one corner because I don't want it to stick down to the other side. So we're just going to tuck this in like this, stick it down. And then we're going to add some of the tinsel gems. On this one, I added the shimmer gems, but I really wanted to pull in a little bit more of the pink on this one. So we're going to use the tinsel gems, and we're just going to pop one down like that, and one up here like this, and one down at the bottom like this, and then one at the side, and we're done. Just like that. So we've got kind of two versions, but the only difference in this is the color of the gems. And I quite like the gems on this one. It really pulls the pink down into the bottom quarter as well. But we've got the two options using the diagonals, whether it's the obvious diagonal or the secondary diagonal. So let me know in the comments what colors you would do this in, and which one you prefer, kind of the flap fold or just the straight plain card. So thank you so much for watching, and let's create together again soon.